Now available in paperback and coming to Kindle Unlimited. John Haynes, Dark Succubus. The man who rules the world is tempted by a sultry succubus in this all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get John Haynes, Dark Succubus in paperback or pre-order on Kindle Unlimited today. Colin Kappernick pulled yet another race hustle on the NFL this weekend. Now, your Colin Kaepernick, after 3 years of protests and declining ratings for the NFL, alleging racism by the NFL, has managed to get them to concede and give him a workout where almost all of the NFL teams would be available to get a look at the way he played. And it was scheduled to take place, I believe, on the Atlanta Falcons football field or its training facility. However, instead of your Colin Kaepernick showing up to showcase his talents as a football player, he decided to host his workout at a local high school, I believe that was 40 miles away. And with this decision to decide to change the venue, I believe about 40 minutes before it was supposed to start, at this other high school venue, your Colin Kaepernick has proven to be extremely disingenuous about trying to restart the career he says that was stopped because the NFL blackballed him or blacklisted him and prevented him from getting work with any other team. And he wore out his goodwill by deciding to change the venue at the last minute. Because if your Colin Kaepernick was sincere about getting to deal with this whole issue of the NFL being racist and once given an opportunity, he would have shown up at that training facility looking to showcase his talents. However, your Colin Kaepernick was not being genuine, just like he was not being genuine 3 years ago when he made his alleged protest against police brutality by kneeling for the national anthem. Now, most people will look at your Colin Kaepernick's decision to kneel for those national anthems before the football games as a protest, but when I took a critical examination of your Colin Kaepernick's decision to kneel to protest police brutality, I saw the disingenuousness in it because your Colin Kaepernick was coincidentally at the time looking to get either a trade to another NFL team with a better record, or he was looking to get free agency so that he could sign with another team for more money. So there was no genuineness as related to his protest. And at the end or the middle of the season, I believe, of 2016, your Colin Kaepernick was released by the San Francisco 49ers, and he found himself unable to find work with any other team. And your Colin Kaepernick alleges that this was due to racism. However, when people take a look at his statistics as related to his game, they clearly see that he was not much of a quarterback when he was playing for the San Francisco 49ers, and his stats show how mediocre a quarterback he truly is. Because when you look at Colin Kaepernick and you compare him to legendary San Francisco 49ers quarterbacks like Joe Montana and Steve Young, or even black quarterbacks like Cordell Stewart, he just does not rank above with the top NFL quarterbacks. And his offensive play really is not one that most football coaches like to use. The read option offense is not something most football coaches want to use as related to their offensive line because it's not really a strong offensive strategy. Moreover, when you take a critical examination of Colin Kaepernick's age, which is 32 years old, he's starting to get up in age as related to being a quarterback because recently we had Eli Manning, who is now 38 years old. The New York Giants decided to bench him, and they benched him because he was an aging quarterback. And I look at Colin Kaepernick, and he's starting to age. He's at 32, so he's starting to be more on the older end of the spectrum as related to quarterbacks, and he's not really someone who you would consider to be much of an asset when you compound his age with his weak play and his weak stats. And I believe your Colin Kaepernick understands how mediocre of a player he is once you look at his stats. And I believe that is the main reason why your Colin Kaepernick decided not to show up at the workout at the Atlanta Falcons facility, because when people were to look at your Colin Kaepernick, they would see still the same mediocre player, and they would look past his controversy and look at his gameplay and not see someone who could add value to a team with a middling record or a team that is looking to get a playoff berth. So most of these teams would see Colin Kaepernick for the mediocre player he still truly is, and they would look past the controversy that your Colin Kaepernick is looking to generate by playing the race hustle card on black people, because that's what your Colin Kaepernick is trying to do, because your Colin Kaepernick is basically one of these biracial race hustlers, just like your Jesse Williams, in that he wants to play the black card in order to generate controversy and get attention for himself by going out here and wearing a big afro and a Kunta Kinte shirt to generate controversy. However, when you look at this man based on the merit of his play and you look past race, you will see that he's not much of a player as related to as the NFL and its stats. And what he wants to do with this latest race hustle, because he knows he's not much of a player, is generate more controversy for himself, because your Colin Kaepernick these days has another line of Nike products that he's looking to sell, because as he's gone out here and played this hustle on people, he is coincidentally now selling more Nike merchandise in a brand new line, and that's what I believe he was looking to generate the controversy for. He was looking to generate the controversy in order to get eyeballs on his new Nike line of sneakers and apparel, and this disingenuous biracial race hustler has pulled yet another race hustle on people by making himself out to be a victim of racism, when in actuality he's looking to use racism as a way to shame others into giving him contracts and business deals, and looking to play a game using racism to take advantage of people. Because what your Colin Kaepernick wants to do is draw attention for himself, and he isn't really concerned about the issues he says he's so concerned about. Because your Colin Kaepernick was very silent as related to several incidents of police brutality involving black men recently. I mean, we have not heard from your Colin Kaepernick after he got his $30 million deal with Nike, and that shows me how disingenuous your Colin Kaepernick is on this issue and this whole controversy he has started with the NFL. Now, the NFL, I'm not giving them a pass for anything, because I know your NFL is racist and has done many black players wrong, but I also see how dishonest your Colin Kaepernick, the biracial race hustler, is, and how he uses his light skin and his whole thing to get people's attention. And because so many black people are spellbound by that light skin, they cannot see how this race hustler is conning them and taking advantage of them. And what he wants to do is rile up the black masses out here, get them upset, get them talking about racism, and he also wants to shame the white people out here into believing that he is being victimized and use white guilt in order to try to get favor from white people and get money out of white people. But what he does is he hurts other black people who have legitimate claims of racism and legitimate claims of discrimination. Because once you get an opportunity to show that you have this talent and show your abilities for a group like the NFL, after making a protest of racism and you don't decide to show up, then we all can look at you and say that you are extremely dishonest and disingenuous. And again, your Colin Kappernick has been extremely dishonest and disingenuous from day one with this protest. This protest was not about drawing attention to the issue of police brutality, something that really needs to be dealt with when it comes down to black men. No, he wanted to draw attention to himself in order to, again, get that trade and that free agency. Because before, when he was making the big money with the NFL, your Colin Kaepernick was all over the white girls. But now that he's not able to make that money, what he wants to do is use black people as a springboard to elevate controversy for himself, and he wants to use the black masses as tools to shame Roger Goodell and the NFL into giving him a contract that he believes he deserves, and giving him more money than other players that he believes he deserves for mediocre gameplay and mediocre talent as an NFL player. He wants to be elevated to an elite level, but he does not want to give the NFL owners the elite level of gameplay that would take one of their teams to the Super Bowl. So he wants teams to invest in him, and he wants those teams to invest in him all based on his skin color, but not the content of his gameplay. So your Colin Kaepernick is basically a race hustler, and we now see how much of a race hustler he truly is by his actions this weekend as related to this workout. Because if he was sincere about going back to the NFL for a job as related to these allegations of racism, he would have come to the venue and went to go play with them, not keep going someplace else and then making excuses and then using that as a way to showcase his new Nike line. So this Colin Kaepernick is an extremely disingenuous biracial race hustler, and once you look past the light skin and the afro he puts on and the Kunta Kinte shirt he puts on as a gimmick to draw attention to his blackness, you can see the darkness in his soul as related to the con game he looks to run by using black people as pawns in his game that he still continues to play at trying to get money at the NFL at the expense of black people. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to try some of my SJS Direct publications, like The Man Crisis, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.